the star of Unforgotten, Nicola Walker. Hello.
Hello, Graham.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. So congratulations on the success of Unforgotten.
Yes.
Because because obviously, actors like to work because that's a good thing. So how did they pitch Unforgotten to you initially? Did you know it was going to be a returning series, or did they pitch it as a kind of a one-off?
When we first met, I'd worked with Chris Lang, the writer, a couple of times before, and once playing a detective, actually. I've played quite a lot of detectives over the years. But before that, I played a woman from a council estate in Slough who'd stolen a baby. So that was quite different. So we had this meeting and they said, we've got this series and we'd really like you to do it. And that was pretty much the first time that's ever happened to me. I didn't have to go and win it in the room. I was sort of gobsmacked by that someone was saying to me, here, and he had all the scripts. They were all ready to go. And he said, it's for you. We'd like you to do it. And that was a first.
Really?
So initially, because someone's being so...
You'd have done anything.
Yes. You go, yes, I'll do that.
But it says I play it, so I'm doing it. Yeah, okay.
And then you go in, read it and think, oh, please let this be... let it be brilliant.
My vehicle has no wheels.
Yeah. and it was. So it was a very easy yes.
But as I said, but you weren't... Did you think that this crime team would come back?
No, I didn't. And it wasn't pitched like that. It was certainly not pitched as something that would go on for... we want to keep making it and milking it. It was very clear that Chris had this... He wanted to look at all the stuff in the news at the time, very high-profile people involved in rather appalling cases, and us all having to reimagine a lot of those icons from our youth on television. And that had kicked him off into thinking about that gap between... how someone presents themselves and who they may have been in their past. And what he's interested in is what that does to the people who work with them, love them, live with them.
Yes.
That double life.
But also, I think it's that extraordinary thing of people who, someone like Jimmy Savile did, he did get away with it. He got away with it. But for these people who so nearly get away with it.
Yeah.
Like they're so close to... the end of their lives.
It's the accidental finding of remains. That's really the main similarity, I think, between the two stories, that it is the finding of the body. The body's the problem. That as soon as that, those bones appear,
yes,
you're in trouble. And
but series two is a different premise. These are people in the middle of their lives. They're getting on with their lives.
They're doing really well, actually.
Yeah, actually are, aren't they?
Yeah. They're at that point where things are... their lives are going very, very well, and they must feel that actually they've got away with it. They've just about got away with it. They've convinced themselves, all of everyone, because you don't know, obviously you don't know yet who we're actually looking at.
Because we're on episode 2, but obviously it's all on the hub, so people could watch.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Oh,
is it?
Yeah.
What? It's all, the whole series is on the hub?
No, not the whole series. No.
Wow.
I know you seemed really surprised to find that people could watch it on Catch Up. I was like, how old is Nicola Walker? Has she not heard of Catch Up television?
Great, I can watch it, because I really want to see what happens in episodes 5 and 6.
Is it 6 episodes?
Yes, it is.
Oh, good.
It is.
Good.
But at the moment, you don't know who's involved, why they're involved. We've just lined up our ducks.
Actually, can I just say, Jean Nichols sent us an email, and I think this is a lovely thing. I'll read the email to you. I will watch a programme simply because it features Miss Walker, as you can always be sure of an excellent performance. Hello. What I particularly like about the excellent Unforgotten is the quiet, understated way she and Sanjeev Bhaskar go about their business when addressing colleagues or interviewing suspects' relatives. Yes, the stories appear complicated at first to a 76-year-old, but the way they all unwind, then come together is really first class. Congratulations to all concerned.
Oh, how lovely.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
But she's right, though, isn't it? Because... when you watch episode 1, it is really well written, because episode 1, you should kind of think, well, I have no idea what's going on. Why is this teacher in it? Why is that boy in it? and it's such a little drip feed of things.
Yeah, it's like it's very slow build, and I liked it. I think in the first episode when our biggest dramatic reveal was about a watch. Compared to some TV programs we get, from around the world, that was our big dramatic moment. I think in episode 1, but it ramps up as it goes along, and it seems to me that in this day and age when we're all used to watching fly-on-the-wall documentaries set in police stations, the writer has very cleverly pushed the writing so that we are being as naturalistic as we can within a very dramatic storyline. And that was always the intention. That was the director's intention as well, that we kept it as real as we could, and it was still hugely dramatic.
And also, your office looks very realistic.
It's
the
good,
way sometimes like police offices look so high tech. There's computers, like fabulous kind of see-through computers, and and like
Spooks was like that.
Yeah, and beautiful desk lamps and stuff.
Yeah.
Your office looks like I imagine they look.
It is, and they said to us on the first day this season, they said, if you want to bring stuff in, to make your desk more real, and more homely. And I watched Sanjeev Bhaskar to that end. He'd brought nothing, and he just looked down at his bag and took out an empty bottle of water. That was it. That was him. He's like, I'm home. And I was even worse. I brought nothing. I said, no, she doesn't. She's not like that. But actually, I've just forgotten.
I love that. Lazy actor's choice. Yeah, no, I didn't think she'd bring anything.
No, she's not like, no. Yeah, no. It's all down to character.
Yeah. And there's also the backstory then. So there's the solving the old case, the cold case.
Yeah.
And by the way, do those departments really exist?
I have no idea. I'm not the sort of actor who does a vast amount of research. That's really bad.
She learns the lines, ladies and gentlemen, most of them. She's very, yeah.
Maybe it does. I mean, but maybe only in television world. I have no idea. I just thought it's because it's on their patch. That this is the case that they're serious. They're a serious crime unit, and it's on their patch. I don't know if there's actual cold. Are there? I don't know. Maybe someone could let us know. I don't know
because I feel like
there are. Of course, there are. There are cold cases.
Yeah, because you're neglecting all the current cases if you're just.
Yeah, listen. In our borough, if you've had your mobile phone stolen, we don't care.
Yeah. When did it happen? Today. Sorry. Come back in 15 years. Yeah. We'll investigate it then. Thank you. Yeah. It'll be too easy if you do it now. All the needs are still hot. But then there's the backstory of your lives. Sanjeev's got his daughters. You've got your dad. Yeah. So does that, you can't tell us too much, but at the moment, Peter Egan, who plays your dad, like, how posh is that?
Very.
Yeah.
I'm a bit in love with my dad.
There's a sort of a mystery about him in this series. Is that a separate story?
Well, that continues from the first, which is again Chris lovely writing. He has this. It totally reflects what he was interested in the first season, because my mother had an affair before she died. It transpired, and that's what my father's dealing with. So, in his own way, in a very personal way, this woman that he loved and lived with for his whole life, it became a different person in his mind when he found out that she'd had this affair after her death, and that wasn't tied up neatly at the end of the first series. Without knowing that we were doing a second, Chris just wasn't interested in tying it up neatly with a bow, and this year he's kept on with that. You don't realise that yet. That's you know that something's happening because Cassie has not been able to leave her detective at work, and she's bringing it home, and she's found this travel card in her father's jeans pocket when she was putting them in the washing machine. She
wasn't snooping.
It happens a lot.
But you did open the credit card.
I did open the credit card bill, but that's I'm a detective. What can I say?
You could have steamed it.
I thought I did say that, but she's more honest than that because she does say to him, "I opened your mail."
Now, when can we see you on stage again? Are you going to do more stage?
I'm looking and hoping that something will come in at the moment because I got back from New York in March. So by the time
what were you doing in March?
I was doing View from the Bridge on Broadway.
Of course,
for 5
with
months.
all the massive awards and everyone loved it.
Yeah,
yes.
with the lovely Mark Strong, and lived in New York for 5 months, which
how exciting!
Totally unexpected and wonderful. And everyone said before I went, "Oh, you'll fall in love with New York," and I thought I won't. I'm terrified, and I'm leaving my family, and what am I doing? I'm 46 and I'm leaving my 9-year-old. And I went, and within 5 minutes I'm phoning home, I love it, we need to move here, it's amazing.
Is that a child in the background? Who's that?
Exactly.
Nicola in Dudley. What was it about Last Tango in Halifax that made you say, yes, that's for me, and please say there will be more soon?
Well, they offered me the job, surprisingly. That was the first bit, and that involved jumping up and down at the end of the phone and shouting, "You're not serious. They haven't given that to me, have they? That's amazing." So that's how I said yes to that one. And hopefully we are making more, but that's down to the very busy Sally Wainwright.
It is kind of annoying that writers in this country go off and do other things. You kind of think, when they come across a hit, why don't you just write more of that?
Yes. We've all said we would happily just make Last Tango forever. You can't get better than sitting in a green room with Annie and Derek and Sarah. That is the best green room to be in.
Yeah, that sounds like amazing.
Shots. And on set as well. They are all really naughty and then absolutely brilliant when people shout action. And you get caught up in it sometimes. You can be equally naughty. They shout action, you forget your words. That's the difference.
Spooks. Whose decision was it to kill off Ruth? And how nervous were you? Because you were in Spooks for how many years? How many series?
58 years. I don't know. A long time.
A long time.
I was in it for about 4 or 5, and then I did that sort of classic actress thing. I left. I thought I'd done enough. I was pregnant, so we carried box files and sat me behind the desk for as long as we could, and then I left. Very emotional. They gave me delightful presents, and then I took my baby in to see Jane Featherstone, who ran Kudos, and she cooed over my baby. And as I was leaving, she said, "Do you want to come back?" And I said, "Yeah." And so I went back for 2 years.
And so how nervous were you when you finally kind of went, okay, she's dead now, I am not coming back?
I was more upset than I thought I would be. I really didn't expect to be upset, because with Spooks you knew that you could go at any time, because that was part of the dramatic movement of it. And but in that we knew, season 10 was the last season, we knew that. And it was the producer phoned me. The last script was coming out, and the producer's name came up on my phone, and I answered it. Said, "Oh, you're killing me." And because he would never phone as the script's going out, and he said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, but we think it's great for the story." Yeah, it's great for the story. And I was really upset, because I thought it's come that far, but they were right. They were absolutely right in terms of story. And
also for you as well, because so many amazing things have happened to you since. So yeah,
it's good. It's good to move on, isn't it? If you can, if you're able, it's good.
But that's a terrible thing. Because it's all make believe, it's all nonsense. But that is proper, actual bad news.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I'm dead.
And also,
it's the worst call in many ways.
It is. Yes, that's it. There's no more money coming in. But when I left the first time, and they sent me off, they still laugh, the producers, that they sent Ruth off on a rubbish barge down the Thames. And I had this kiss moment with Harry, with Peter Firth, and it's my regret to this day. I don't personally regret it, but I do slightly regret it for Peter. It got to the kiss, and I love Peter Firth so much. That wasn't Ruth kissing Peter Firth. That was me, all emotional. You're crying. I was heavily pregnant, and I felt it was private. So I kissed him in this way, where I covered the kiss up from the camera, because it was Nicola. It was me going, "I love you, Peter, and I'm leaving." And as a result, Peter, ever since in interviews, has said, "Yeah, she completely covered that moment, completely ruined it. No one actually saw the kiss, but I did."
Yes, you lived it.
Yeah.
Very quickly, Chrissy in Leek. Who knew there was a place called Leek in Staffordshire? Where do you keep your Olivier Award?
It moves around. I like to give him different views. At the moment, he's in a very small box office room that we have.
Okay,
he's been everywhere.
Oh, all over that house. And were you still in the play when the theatre roof collapsed?
No, I wasn't.
Drama.
No, that was quite bad, wasn't it? I fear that I would have just ran from the stage, backstage, out onto the street, saving my own.
Were people on? Was it the play on when it happened?
Yeah.
Oh, so they weren't like eating Maltesers waiting for it to begin?
The play was on. As far as I understand, it was during the performance.
People must have thought, this is amazing. How do they do this every night?
Yeah.
Liv Chenka.
Indeed.
Is probably my favourite in the audio adventures of Doctor Who. Why aren't you keen in being a companion in the TV show?
I love that.
Adrian and Milton Keynes.
I love that's come up. I thought this would come up. Okay, so a long time ago now, I did some audio. I did one audio story for Big Finish that does Doctor Who stories with the previous Doctors, and it was a one-off. And then over the years, I've climbed up the ladder, and I am now the assistant to Paul McGann. I've got my own keys to the TARDIS. This is all in audio storyland. And I did an interview for the new story that's coming out recently, and they said to me, so would you and Paul, do you think you should be on television doing this now? You know, you should be introduced into the TV version of Doctor Who. And I scoffed and laughed in a very coy way and said, no, as if they want us to on television. No. It would never happen. And that has mutated into...
You don't want to.
Yes.
Get away, television.
I want to. Yes, I want to do it. Thank you.
They do film it in Cardiff, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, that's a really long way away.
It is really. Right, let's say goodbye. Unforgotten continues on ITV this Thursday at 9 p.m. And, of course, you can catch up with episodes 1 and 2. Not the whole series, don't misunderstand.
Yes, sorry,
on the ITV hub. Thank you very much for coming in, Nicola. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
If you'd like some more, why not check out my free download?